Hey people, what's up? It's your homegirl back again, late as it seems to be in the trend for me right now, which is completely not the norm. Anyways, back once again for another review of VH1's Family Reunion, Love and Hip Hop Edition, Season 2, Episode 8, Blood is Thicker Than Mud. Now, it, now, it kind of picks up where it left off the last episode with after Jonathan's Pride Day was got ruined a bit. Rich Dollars goes to speak to Amita Butterfly about what she said and about what she did rather, and Stevie J and he went to see her after he was in the room with Peter Guns. Stevie J was in there as well, and Erica Mena comes in there also, and Peter Guns lets them know once again that something like what Amina did, that could ruin his career. His career could be over because of people thinking of him as a hater, which he's not. And Rich Dollars goes to speak to Amina about that, and she tells him that she spoke to him about his parenting before and stuff to his and Tara's son that wanted to be a ladybug for Halloween, but he wouldn't let him, and he's 4 years old. And Peter Guns says he stands on what he said, that when he gets old enough and he decides that, he'll be right there behind him, supporting him. But until then, so later on, that same night, Bobby Lights has an event, and it's the drag event, and he invited a few drag queens out to perform, and he performed his song Judgment Day, which was also great. And he invited excuse me, he invites Jonathan and Zell Swag up there on stage and stuff about how they came together and how they're all on one accord now. And also, while Bobby Light was performing, Erica Mena was turned around with her back facing Safari, and Safari taps her, asks her could she not have her back to him. She said, and she says no. She says no, please, no way, boy, please, you done worse to me. Yeah. So, of course, that didn't go over too well. But after that, then Amina, then excuse me, Amina goes into the talk and discussion again about what she said to Peter Guns and stuff, and that didn't go over too well, of course, with Peter Guns. And then Tara, she didn't want to get involved in it either, but because it was about her and Peter's son, yes, she did get involved. And argument was loud, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was not good. And the crazy thing is, Amina says, while Erica Mena was holding her back, she says to them that she's glad that she did not have a son like Peter Guns because it would be a nightmare. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. But then she takes a time out, calms down, and goes back to Tara and talks to her and they have a talking discussion. They're not against each other. They have different ways of parenting, you know. And Tara says to her she's not against her, or anything like that. Amina says the same thing too. They just have different ways of parenting. That's all. And of course they have love for each other. So that's that. Oh, and Cisco goes over to Safari to talk about a time to meet up the next day to discuss their issues, or his issues with him rather. And okay, Rich Dollars thought it was another bad timing thing, and Cisco was like, no, it wasn't. He was just wanted Safari to let him know that he wants to talk about that the next day at a certain time in the afternoon. That was good. Okay. Next day comes, they both meet up. Cisco tells Safari that first he had one problem with him, and now he has two. And I'm like, hold up, what the hell you mean two? So he then of course tells him the second issue, which was completely thrown off, which excuse me, was completely thrown off, and that was just, I'm like, hey, excuse me, drinking my coffee. It's in the daytime. Anyways, then Safari literally says, yo, I'm about to smack you, or I'm about to smack the shit out of you right now. Took off his sunglasses, threw them down, and Cisco goes to him, lunges at him, and literally swung first, and the producers, of course, with their masks, wearing their masks and stuff, had to hold them back from each other. I said, this is just, it was so loud that Shekinah heard it. And she's on her balcony said something. What's all that loud noise? She said, what's all that loud noise and stuff and what's going on? And that was, Safari goes to walk like he's about to walk back, which he was. Then he attempted to turn around. Then he turned around and tried to go back to go at it with Cisco again. And producer once again had to hold him back. Had to bring him back. Like, can't do that. Not gonna let you do that. Not gonna let y'all fight each other. Y'all can't do that. Cause this ain't the regular this ain't the regular this ain't the series of a certain city and stuff where y'all normally do that. So they're not gonna have it. They're not gonna tolerate it. Not physically anyway. Verbally maybe, but physically, But but then that that's a done deal. Well, that's a done deal. And Stevie goes to talk to Cisco, while Peter Guns is talking to Safari, and Safari, of course, lets him know that that this is crazy. He tells him what happened, and Peter Guns is like, yeah, Cisco, but then he lets him know that he threw the first punch, and Peter Guns was like, no. He said, yeah, and he lunged at him first. He went at him first, and that's when he was like, oh man. And of course, it turns out Cisco, of course, he said it earlier earlier episodes ago that he hadn't seen his kids in 6 months. Okay, but and he lets Stevie J know that he's divorced and he ain't seen his kids in 6 months. And Stevie J's even taken aback, like, oh wow. So during Stevie J's pool party, everybody's there, of course, and he tries to get them two to resolve their shit, because he said that they and men have to stick together and stuff like that, and try to work out the issues or whatever. So Safari lets him know that he wasn't there he really wasn't trying to do anything wrong, especially to Cisco. And Cisco tells him that he wasn't trying to check him or nothing like that, but he wanted to talk to him as a friend and stuff. and about the issues he's having, and he told him what he's going through and all of that stuff. So then Safari takes initiative and he says, "Man, you know, they both resolve. Well, they resolve it for now. Let's see what happens." And Safari takes initiative to say he apologized and stuff like that. Okay, and they dapped each other, and then they gave a group hug and stuff. The men. So the pool party is going great, cookout's going great, and the microphone being passed around, freestyling and stuff. All of a sudden, you hear a familiar voice. It's Paris Phillips, Zell Swag's best friend from, of course, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So she comes there, she shows up. She looks great, and she lost some weight as well. And she comes wearing a platinum blonde wig with like two braids, kind of halfway done up top. So of course L Swag comes and he's surprised. He's taken by surprise. Bobby Lights gets out of the pool and just runs over there to her, and everybody goes over to her and hugs her. And surprisingly, Brooke Valentine had called her up and let her know Zell Swag was having an event, and she wanted her to be there for his event and didn't want her to miss it. And stuff, being that they're besties and best friends and stuff, and she knows how close they are. So that was great for Brooke. Then Then music plays again, freestyles going and stuff, mic being passed around, of course. First Peter Guns was on the mic, or was it Bobby Lights? Somebody else was on the mic in the pool and stuff. Then Safari was on there freestyling, and Erica Mena tells him get off the mic. Of course she's still pissed at him. Well, rightfully so. And she was tipsy and stuff, and she didn't know what the hell she was saying, but then Peter Guns gets up there and he has the mic and he's freestyling on top of his head, and then she freestyles about what the hell Safari did and everything. Then it goes back to him, and yeah, at the end of one of the freestyle verses, he says still married legally, and then he says I'm again, and everybody joins in and says still married. Yeah, and after a few more of those, that Safari even said that still married part, he couldn't even ignore it. He had to laugh at it too. Erica Mena said something to something else up to this part where I caught it. She said something that you just lost your whole fucking family. I said, whoa, oh gosh. Don't. Doesn't matter what y'all going through. Don't put the family into it. Don't. So that kind of went well. And so of course Paris Phillips is going to be there, and I think I'm trying to make sure. I believe that's it for this episode of VH1's Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition, Season 2, Episode 8, Blood is Thicker Than Mud? Question mark. So, I'll catch you guys in a bit.